Hello, I'm Mr. Muskeluk, your AP Chemistry teacher at Chem Advantage.
Here's a typical AP Chemistry multiple choice question. It says if equal masses of the following compounds are decomposed into their elements, okay, take these characters and break them up into elements, which will yield the greatest mass of nitrogen? Well, we know the formulas here don't include the masses, but we know how to figure out its mass using its atomic mass. So we can find the mass of the nitrogen in this compound and the mass of the hydrogen pretty easily, just using our calculator. And if you're a good AP student, you will have already memorized the atomic mass of nitrogen and hydrogen and carbon and oxygen. You might have to look up magnesium, but if you don't know the carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, hydrogen atomic masses, then you probably shouldn't take the exam. We'll get our calculator up, and you can use the calculator on a multiple choice exam now, and we'll just figure out the mass of one nitrogen and then the mass of all the ammonia, the nitrogen and the hydrogen together, and divide the two and figure out the percent nitrogen, and the choice with the highest percent nitrogen will be our answer. And we figure, hey, I've got this solved. I'll be able to get one question right at least on the AP exam. So let's do this, and I'm going to do it in time lapse. Well, that was the calculation done at 3 times normal speed. I was going as fast as I could, but still needed to speed it up so you wouldn't be bored. So let's look at these answers. Here, this is good. We've got our ammonia at 82% nitrogen. We used their atomic weights and such, and we're right there. That's pretty good, 82% nitrogen. But look at hydrazine here, 88%, a bit better than our ammonia. That's our winner, so forth. This magnesium nitrate, though, is the loser, only 33% nitrogen. So if you want nitrogen, don't get magnesium nitrate. There are better sources. And then methylamine is not too bad, but 47%, it's our third. So our first and answer is hydrazine. So you can be real happy. I got the right answer, but there's a big problem here. And that problem is this. 2 minutes. And I was going as fast as I could. I was clicking. I only looked up the atomic mass of magnesium, and I did that very quickly too. I mean, it would take you longer flipping forward in your MC booklet to find it and write it down. So 2 minutes though, and that's without reading the question. I mean, if it took you 2 minutes to do every problem in the MC exam, you couldn't do every problem. You'd end up at question number 45 by the time the proctor would say, put down your pencils. So you'd be missing 15 questions. You got this one right, but there are 15 others that are not there. And that's a best case scenario. So, this is not something you should be doing. This calculator, even though it's beautiful, isn't going to help you on this. There's got to be a better method. One thing you can be assured of is every question on the MC exam can be answered quickly. And 2 minutes isn't quickly, unless it's an extreme problem. So, what's wrong here? What are we going to end up doing? How can we solve this? Well, the first thing you got to do is put the calculator away. Just put it away and use it for something else. Here's our question. I've got a timer. I'm going to reset it. I'm going to, in this case, read it. And instead of using silicon to answer these questions, I'm going to use some thinking. I can use my brain. Say, I want to answer this quickly and efficiently. So let me get my timer going here. There, we'll get it down to 100th of a second. If equal masses of the following compounds are decomposed into their elements, which will yield the greatest mass of nitrogen? And here we've got a bunch of formulas. And we know about these formulas. So now let's go and take this ammonia and look at the nitrogen. Here it is. 1 nitrogen weighs 14 and 3 hydrogens. So the total weight's going to be 17. So that's our first thing. 14 out of 17. Now look at hydrazine. Now, what I did is I wrote right next to it N1. I reduced it to one nitrogen so I could compare. And obviously, this is going to have more nitrogen per 100 than our ammonia does. We've got less baggage. Well, let's look at the magnesium nitrate. Well, I did the same thing here. I put in N1, had to take the magnesium by a half, but still there's lots of baggage here. Compared to the hydrazine, bad news. And our methylamine, again, set the nitrogen and say, oh, this has got the extra carbon baggage. Our best bet is hydrazine. That's our answer. And I was explaining the whole thing as I went along. If you had your pencil in your hand rather than your calculator and just said, okay, NH3, that's NH3. And, oh, yeah, N1. The same here. You could have answered this question, got it right, and finished the entire thing in 1 minute. And we read the question here. With the other part of the problem, we hadn't read the question. So if you do this consistently, you'll end up having maybe 15 minutes to take a nap at the end of the exam, or maybe check your answers if you like. This is what you should think about first. Say, is there a way in which I can answer this quickly? This is the calculator method, but really, there may be a better method of solving this. So don't think of the calculator first. Use your head. Think, don't calc.